going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In the last video, I got all of the paint touched up on the trunk back there. In this video, I want to tidy up just a last few details. This is not going to be a very specific video. It's just a few things that are still bugging me. They also got a new computer. Stay tuned. First thing that I want to do is remove the vinyl on this front emblem. It has that carbon fiber wrap on there. You can see where I've already started tearing it off. My heat gun broke down on me when I was removing the wrap from the roof. Finally picked up a new one from Harbor Freight, so that's what I'm going to knock out first. Vinyl is all off of the front emblem here. At some point, I will probably put another color over this when I decide on a color scheme for this thing. But until then, I'm just gonna keep the chrome to match the one on the trunk back here. The next thing that I want to do, and it should be pretty easy, when I did the intake install, the vacuum lines going from the intake into the boost controller were not long enough. You can see back here where it's kinked right down in there. I don't like having it like that, so I'm going to replace it with a longer piece. What do you think you're doing? You going to replace all that for me? Are you? Do you know how? All right, I trust you, dude. Shoot it. Shoot the bubbles. Whoa. Watch, Jagger. I'll make the big ones. You ready? Get them. Pop them. Pop them. Yeah. I finished up with the vacuum line going from the intake over here to the boost controller. So here's how I routed it. I gave myself a little extra length back here. That way I knew that there were not going to be any kinks. And then the other thing that I did that I wanted to do, I did not mention it before I started, is I wanted to shorten this because it was pushing up against the charge pipe over here. So two more things off of my to-do list. And the last and one of the major things that I wanted to take care of. When I initially bought the car, I did a video when I was cleaning out all of the interior. I was removing a lot of vinyl wrap on this stuff. And so when I pulled the glove compartment apart, I found all of this loose wiring. The previous owner did tell me that these were for electric mirrors on the sides. Here's the other end of it over here. So it was a lot of loose wiring. He said that the motor went out, but if I can, I am going to go ahead and try to just run this back and try to trace it back and see if I can unplug it somewhere. That way it's not just hanging behind there. I've got the majority of the dash pulled apart, so let me show you what I found here. My initial thought is that this was a signal in somewhere, and then that this right down here was a signal out going to the mirrors. This plug down here actually splits into two sides, and then you can see this side going off into the panel over there and then going up to the mirror. Same thing with the other side, it just runs along the inside of here. And then here it is on the driver's side right underneath the OBD2 port, and then it is going into the driver's side mirror. This one is pretty easy to trace, I'm not too worried about it, but this one right here is very strange. So I followed it all the way up. It goes in right there, and then you can see right back in there. Hold on. And it goes right underneath the radio there. And then this is it coming underneath the steering column. And then right here, the sheathing is actually ripped. And then where it's ripped right there, you can see they've got this blue wire tied in there somewhere. But here is the end of it. There's all the wires coming out of that sheathing right there. And then coming up here, they are all tied in different places. So there's this gray one up here, the red one, yellow. There's an orange one that's actually going into the back over there. This blue wire that's actually tied in over here is right in the back, and it's going between the fuse panel there. So I don't know where that one is actually tied in at. Weirdest one of all, there is this brown wire. So it's got a little black wire connecting it with some butt connectors. And then there's another butt connector right up there, that blue one, and then it goes even further. So I'm not sure where that one's connected at either. I'm gonna go inside and grab Jagger. I think Brittany wants to do a little workout. So while she's doing that, I'm gonna do a little bit of research and see if I can figure this out. Good job, buddy. Hey, Jagger. Mama's pulling us both in the wagon. She's getting her workout in today. I did quite a bit of Google work. I tried researching everything that I could find on folding mirrors. There's not a lot of information on this, and the reason why is because the US market did not get the electric folding mirrors. It was a European and JDM thing only. So to make these things work with a US market Lancer, it was a lot of wiring. I really wanted to find a pinout of this one right here. I wanted to know what these wires were that it was actually tapped into, but I could not find anything on this. It's just really strange to me that you have wires tapped into this wiring harness. You have one going up to the top up there, and then this blue one right here is going all the way into the back. I would think that everything for the mirrors would all be into one place together. But either way, like I said, I just really want to clean all this up. I don't like extra things hanging behind that are not connected to anything. So I'm going to get all of this taken apart. I'm going to probably just leave the electrical tape on the wires that were spliced into so that there's no exposed wiring. And then I will get all of these wires and this harness taken out of here. I've got the wire harness completely pulled out. This was not an easy process. Working with that electrical tape is just very time consuming and can get kind of messy. For all of these wires, I just removed the electrical tape. I did replace the first wire with the original electrical tape that was on there, and it was just really messy. So I just went ahead and started throwing it away. You can see there's a little bit of gunk on some of the other wires there, but this will be great. You know, electrical tape, it is messy, but it's a great insulator. So this will be just fine. Same thing down here with this one. He actually had a piece of heat shrink on there. I guess he pulled the pin out, but I just cut it off with a utility knife and then replaced it with my electrical tape like the rest of them up here. This one up here, I really did want to do more with this, but I don't really want to take all of the panels off to get all the way up there, and it's held in by that clip. So what I did is I just cut it off. It'll just be dangling there. This is still cleaner than what it was. Same thing with this one right here. You could see in the back there, it's got the little clip. So I just cut it off right there at the edge. Don't get me wrong, I like things to look clean, but I can only go so far with it. So I'm just going to leave those as they are right there. All of this is cleaned up nicely, and then I'm going to work on getting the ones going to the mirrors taken out. got the door panel off. I've got it sitting on the jack stands. I didn't want to have to disconnect everything, so this just makes it a little bit easier to get to all this up here. Here is the other end of the plug. It actually wasn't plugged into anything. I should just be able to pull this thing all the way through. I also found these two wires cut down here. It looks like they are going into the little plug that works the switches over here. I'm not an expert on US and JDM market EVOs, but I'm thinking that that's what this button is for. Not sure though. If anybody knows, please leave a comment below. So for these two, I'm not going to do anything with them. They're not going to hurt anything being here. My goal really, like I said, is just to clean up all this extra wiring, these wiring harnesses that don't need to be in here. Now, I did find that something was tapped up here. It looks like 3 wires. That may have been the mirror that he had on here that was coming through. He tapped into. I'm not sure what all is involved in the electrical circuitry of folding mirrors, but this is the other end of the plug, so I'm going to work on getting this thing through. I've been trying to pull it down here. You can see the other end right here coming through, but it's getting hung up in this little rubber boot. So I'm going to try to pull that off or try to do something with it and see if I can get this thing through a little bit easier. I've got the wiring harness ran to the other side over here, so driver's side part is all complete. I'm gonna go ahead and go put the driver's side door panel back together because I'm gonna use the jack stands over here on this one too. I did already remove the little tweeter cover over here. I didn't say anything earlier, but I forgot to mention that the driver's side was being held on with just some double-sided tape. It looks like they broke the little tab that goes in there, so if anybody has one of these, please get in contact with me. I would love to get one. But now that I have the driver's side all over here, I'm gonna go ahead and start taking off this panel and getting this side pulled through. Harness is completely out. I did struggle a little bit there. I didn't realize that this side had electrical tape on there, so I was yanking and yanking and it wasn't coming anywhere. And then once I removed that, this thing came right through. The other side may have had some on there too. I didn't feel like it did, but maybe it did, and I just pulled it on straight through. But either way, this thing is out now. There was a lot of panels to take off to get to all of this stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and get everything put back together. Interior is all put back together. Very happy with how everything turned out behind here. So no more wires behind the glove compartment here. Luckily the wiring wasn't too hard to trace down and pull out of here. This is all that I wanted to knock out on the car this weekend. It was those 3 things. Emblem over here, vacuum hoses under the hood, and then all of this wiring. I am gonna call it quits on the car for this weekend. My computer finally crapped out on me. This thing is almost 10 years old. I am using old programs for my editing. So I finally ordered a new computer. I actually splurged this time, so hopefully this video actually comes out. I'll be using the new computer to edit this video when it comes out, so hopefully you'll start seeing some better video quality. The new computer actually just came in the mail, so I may not get a video out this weekend. It may take me a week to get used to that new computer, but I figured I'd at least do a little unboxing and show you what I got and all the specs and everything. No standalone graphics card. This thing is running on Windows 8 and it is only 6 gigabytes of RAM. The new one is this Asus brand. It is this ToughBook Tough 15, so it's a 15.6-inch laptop. They're both the same size, but this thing is running on a new 12th generation i7 processor. It is one of the H series, so it should be much faster. One of the downsides to getting this with the H series is you don't get a touch screen. I did not get like a 4K screen or anything like that. They do have those options, but they are much more expensive. But having that touchscreen option, I actually did have that on this, but I didn't use it that often, and for me, I just really wanted the better processor. It does have its own standalone graphics card. It's a GeForce RTX. I believe it's a 3060 in this one. It's running on Windows 11, and then this one has 16 gigabytes of RAM. This thing should be a beast compared to my old computer. I'm hoping that it'll make a big difference as far as time consuming. I'm not going to go in an in-depth review on this thing. Like I said, I'm not a computer expert. I just did a lot of research and picked out what I thought would be the best editing computer for the price for me. But anyway, I figure most car guys also like computers as well, especially with everything being electronically controlled. I know this wasn't the most exciting video, but like I said, I had to get a new computer. I'm really excited to have this thing, but I need to get it all set up. If you enjoyed the video, if you liked everything going on with the car, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more going on with the Evo, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys next time.